Oh, what it is though, oh, what it is though, oh, what it is though. Shout out to my mothers, homegirls, and players from the Himalayas. We're gonna make, they call me the preschool ghetto motivator. What's up, y'all? I am your host, Whitney Johnson. This is the MUVAH podcast, the very first episode, jumping off on 11/11/2020. I've been seeing that number everywhere, so I was just like, I'm going to use that as my launch date and pray for the best, because honestly, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I used to be in podcasting a long time ago, and I'm going to get back to what we're doing today, but I got to tell y'all this real quick, right? So I used to podcast a long time ago. And it was cool, but like my podcast, because it was all about childcare, I automatically assumed that I had to always talk so professionally and always get all the stuff right and be the thing. And like I hated it, yo. Like I hated that shit. And I told myself, if this how podcasting feel, I don't want to do this. This ain't fun to me. Like my episodes, I would curse in one episode. People like, oh my God, don't say that. You're a teacher. Like, oh my God, what? So I said, fuck that. I'm going to go ahead and not even worry about podcasting no more. And so now that I've got more clarity on my own purpose and I feel like I'm finding my own path through motherhood, like I'm ready to share more. And that's why I created this podcast. I want to share more. I want us to have a community and a safe place where we can like really share our struggles and what we're going through in motherhood without judgment and all the bullshit. So that's why we here, the MUVAH podcast. We are giving ourselves permission to be more than just mothers, okay? This is real motherhood, okay? So let me sip my tea, because this is like my first time doing this. So I'm trying to get into my groove. Like I'm trying to feel my flow, because I know I'm not going to be on here just straight talking the whole time. I'm going to need to drink. This is my coffee, y'all. This is my coffee. I have to have my coffee every morning because it helps me get my life together. So please let me sip. Let me sip. Okay, cool. Now, the next thing I want to talk to y'all about is now that we're here in the MUVAH podcast, first of all, I just want to say thank y'all. Y'all have no idea how much this podcast means to me. And so one of the things that I decided that I wanted to do as an extra bonus for the people who decide to follow me on this podcast and get involved in it, I've decided that I'm going to open up a free community for us to dive a little deeper and build relationships. I talk a lot about this in the podcast, but it's so important that you have relationships with like-minded people. And I decided to create a space just especially for that. It's called the Motherhood Circle. And you can find it over on Facebook. But y'all need to be in that group, because that's where I have, I've already started uploading some stuff. I put some resources in there. I put some tips in there. And after each episode, I'll kind of do like a recap. And so you guys will be able to go in there and see some of the bullet points from the episode. So if you aren't able to catch the episode, you can go back and check it out. I really want this to be a place where we can get resources, where we can network, and we can just build and uplift each other. So if that's the wave that you're on, go to Facebook. It's called the Motherhood Circle. And make sure that y'all stay connected on YouTube too. Subscribe, like, share, because like I said, we building a community of people who want the same types of things, who want to recreate something different outside of motherhood. And that's what we at with it. That's what we at with it. So if that's your vibe, join the Motherhood Circle, okay? Oh, and one last thing. Don't forget that you can also follow us on Twitter, because every Monday it might get a little messy every Monday. So on Mondays we get ratchet. On Mondays we get on Twitter and we have our hashtag MMIM, MUVAH Mondays, and we are going to recap some stuff from the episode. And I'll be live tweeting with you guys. It's gonna be every Monday at 11 a.m. We're gonna be tweeting and talking shit. So y'all come on over to Twitter, baby. Come on over to Twitter. My Twitter name is at WBHJohnson1. All right, so let's talk about this podcast, y'all. So my podcast is not gonna be like your regular podcast. As you can see, you're actually seeing me. But for me, like, I work better seeing myself than just talking to random shit. I don't see how people do this podcasting thing and you just like looking at nothing. Like, I need to see some shit. So I did mine in video form. But I like it. I feel like we have a little connection, you know what I'm saying? And y'all get to be introduced to my co-host. This is the Yavion Porche. This is my spider plant, you know what I'm saying? And she just chilling with your girl. So, you know what I'm saying? Say what's up. Don't be rude to her. So anyway, this podcast is going to be different from most podcasts, yo. Like, I wanted to create like a relaxed vibe for real. And so here on this podcast, we're going to be we'll be walking through my famous MUVAH method, which I'm going to go through in just a second, what that even is. And give a little bit of insight on what this MUVAH thing is that I keep talking about all the time. What's this MUVAH stuff that I keep talking about? I'm going to share what that is. But I'm also going to be inviting 3 women. I have 3 women that I have selected, and they have decided that they will be allowing me to follow them as they navigate through motherhood. Yes, girl. So it's 3 ladies. Their names are Sharita, Stella, and London, and we will be following them as they navigate through motherhood. They're going to call in to the show, and we'll have like a real motherhood chat, and we're going to sit down, and I'm going to answer their questions. I'm going to give them some live feedback, and I think it'll be good for all of us to get some type of insight on how to navigate through these different challenges. Their challenges range from relationships to building up confidence and being like, fuck it, I'm gonna do me, and finding that balance between work and home life. So it'll be around those 3 topics primarily, but we get to follow them as they navigate through some real shit, and it gets crazy. So that's just the warm up. I'm gonna tell y'all about that in some more episodes down the line, but I just wanted to forewarn y'all that that's what we're gonna be doing. But don't worry, I'm gonna share more about this in the Motherhood Circle. Y'all better join it. It's on Facebook, the Motherhood Circle. Listen, I'm gonna let y'all get a sneak peek of the ladies, and I'll let them introduce themselves in the Facebook group. So y'all go to the Facebook group. That way I know it's on the hush and y'all won't say nothing. Okay, anyway. So that's what the Real Motherhood chat will be about. We're gonna do those every week on the show, and yeah, that's pretty much the format of the episodes. But for this episode, I really just wanted to introduce MUVAH. What is this MUVAH thing I'm talking about? Why does it matter? What are you even talking about? What's going on, shit? Okay, so let me explain. Right, for me. Let me just take a sip of this coffee, baby, because I got to get into it. Just be forewarned that this MUVAH method is going to scalp you bald, okay? Because it's going to allow you to stretch your mindset when it comes to who you believe you are as a mother. But let me sip my coffee and let that just sizzle in your spirit real quick. Okay. So I do have little notes here because this is something true to me, y'all. I'm joking, but I'm not even joking because I take this very, very seriously. If y'all didn't know, I suffered from postpartum depression when I had my son. Although I knew a lot about childcare and I've been in the childcare industry for 10 plus years, when I decided to have a child of my own and walk this journey, that shit was fucking hard. And I fell hard because I did not know how to find myself through motherhood. I was suicidal and I was hospitalized for postpartum depression. It was one of the darkest places in my life. I could barely lift my head off the pillow and I did not feel like I was giving my child all that I had. And so because I went through that experience, I really, really told myself that, God, when I get through this, I'm going to reach back and I'm going to help somebody else through it. So even if this method just helps one person, I'm Gucci, because I know what that dark place feels like. And a lot of times we don't have a place to talk about it, or we don't have like a safe place to just share what's the real shit, the real stuff that goes on with motherhood. And I just want to create that because I know the importance of sisterhood, community, and all those things when you're going through something challenging like motherhood. Like, it's challenging. It goes through ups and downs, and we just got to be real about that, okay? So, because of that, my mother method means a lot to me because it's what I still use to this day to go through the challenges that I face or the different humps that I go through motherhood. And so I just hope that this method really blesses you and that you really start to see where I'm going with it. I'm going to break down what MUVAH stands for, the M-U-V-A-H. I'm going to break down each letter and just give you a little nugget on what those different letters stand for. So let's do that real quick, okay? Okay, the first letter is M. The first letter is M. M is for mindset. And so when we talk about mindset, the one thing that I want you guys to think about is releasing that negative self-talk. Releasing that the things in your mind that you tell yourself on a regular basis that you aren't good enough at, that you don't have the patience for, that you don't have the time for, that you don't have the energy for, that you can't get, that you don't have support with, that you don't. I want you, though, that's what mindset is about. Mindset is about releasing those self-talks and doing that in a way that creates more clarity within yourself so you feel more clear on who your identity truly is. It's about finding your unique thought process, right? And using that to remove guilt, shame, lack, what ifs, all of that out of the equation. Removing all of that from your mindset and realizing that you are more than just a mother. You are more than just somebody's mother. You have a unique gift. You have a unique purpose outside of being a mother. And you have a duty and obligation to fulfill that role just as much as you have an obligation to be a mom. And a lot of times we tie our identity to what we have to do and who we have to show up as a mom. But we also don't forget that God gave us a unique gift too. And He wants us to use that for His glory. And a lot of times I feel like people say, well, I know I have a gift, but that ain't what I want to do, and that ain't what I want to focus on. But you honestly don't have an obligation. I use this example all the time because I want y'all to really think about it this way, right? So say for instance, because I heard this and this like changed the game for me, right? So say for instance, you get a gift for your kids, right? You wrap it up, you put it all nice, it's under the Christmas tree, and it's there for your kids, right? And so when it's time for them to wake up on Christmas or whenever, and they get ready to open up the presents under the tree, they skip that gift and they open up all the other ones, right? And so if your kids were to do that, you'd be like, dang, don't you see this gift over here? I done wrapped this gift for you. I done put it under the tree. I done put it in a box for you. I done did all this stuff and you not even gonna open it? I know you done lost your day. Oh my, bitch, we be ready to go the fuck off, okay? So you have to think about it this way, like, imagine, right? God has given us this gift. He's put all these talents and special things inside of us, but yet we tell ourselves, no, I don't want to use my gift. And to me, it's one of the biggest forms of disrespect to not use a gift that you were given to be a blessing to somebody else and to serve them on a higher purpose. And so we focus our attention on being good moms, but we neglect our duty to show up and operate in our gifts. And that's what the M in MUVAH stands for. Some of y'all hear me knocking. You better let me in because I'm just warming up. Okay, let's go into you. You is about uncovering, y'all. You is about, I have my notes, that's why I'm looking over here, y'all. You is about uncovering. It's, when I say uncovering, y'all, I mean peeling back the motherfucking layers. It's about going back, digging deep, digging and uncovering who you are, who you are. Not who you think everybody else wants you to be. Who you truly are. Who you really are showing up as. That's what uncovering about. Uncovering is about who you really going to show up as. Are you going to show up as the person that's seen as notable and this and that because it makes you look a certain way around a certain type of person? Or are you going to just continue to stay true to you are regardless of who you're around, where you're around them, what you do, and how you do it, because that's important to you. It's about getting really, really clear on those limiting beliefs you talked about in mindset and how those beliefs have contributed to who the person that you have become, right? And then figuring out how to then use that to say, that's not who I want to be. This is who I choose to be now. So it's about uncovering what those things are that have unknowingly held you back and figuring out how to create more self-awareness and discipline to get yourself to where you want to be in life. So that's about uncovering. Then we have validate, right? We have validate. And validate is all about making that shit stamp. Like, that shit is legit what it is, right? Validating that it is what it is. Validating is about, okay, I know I want to be blank. How do I get there? What things do I need to do to make sure that I'm always getting there? And when we think about validate, I want y'all to think about processes. I want y'all to think about systems and habits and things that you have to do on a regular basis to validate what it is that you say you want. So say, for instance, you've uncovered that you want to be you want to cook more fresh meals for your family on a regular basis, right? That's what you've uncovered about yourself, right? So if you've uncovered that about yourself, what are the steps? What are the processes? What are the systems and things that you have in place in your home to ensure that you're able to do that on a regular basis without being burnt out and tired? You know what I'm saying? What is your system for cutting up vegetables, or what vegetables ahead of time before you make your meals? Like, instead of saying, okay, this is the meal I want to make, what is your process for planning things out? What is your system for what the kids will be doing while you're making time for these things? This is what validate is about. It's about creating the systems and the processes so that everything flows together and you're not so tired and overwhelmed while you're trying to find your own identity in motherhood. Because I don't think your identity is tied to how much you work, how much you buy, how many straight A's your kids have, what kind of diet. I don't think none of that matters. What truly matters is what processes you want for your family to go how you want things to go in your home. That's what I feel. And so that's what validate is about. It's about doing shit your way and figuring out how to make it flow for you in your household. All right, so that's validate. Now we got activate. Activate. And so activate is about family, relationships, community, and connection. Activate is about putting the right people in your life, building the right forms of communication, and building support, trust, and awareness for everybody so that you can do these things without having to yell or having to spank or get out of character when it comes to parenting your children. Now, I'm a firm believer in discipline. I don't think you should let your kids run over you. I don't think you should just let them say what they want to say. I believe you should check their little asses if they out of line. Period. However, I don't agree with whooping ass. I don't agree that you got to yell and do all the things in order to prove your point. I don't think that to be true. I think there's other ways to do that, but I think we have to figure out what are the ways that I can communicate and get things done and still move forward in my parenting without me losing my shit, because I know I want to stop yelling at my kids. I know I want to be a more present mom. I know I want to show up as a better mom as I'm trying to find my identity through motherhood. I'm also helping my family to get to their level and the things that they need. So this is what Activate is about. Activate is about having those conversations. It's about giving your children the techniques and strategies that it takes for them to understand why discipline is important, why they need to be aware of who they are, and building respect and support within the family. It's about strengthening your foundation, because I really feel like as we navigate through motherhood and identify who we are, we start to uncover our purpose in life, right? And so as you're uncovering your purpose in life, now you have to figure out how to balance that while still being mom, balance that while still being wife, or whatever all the other roles you are trying to create in your life, you have in your life, right? So when it comes to Activate, you have to be able to have your family in a space where they feel supported, they feel heard, they feel seen, while you are now taking yourself to the next level that God has for you. So that's what Activate about. We really get into different things that you can do to strengthen those relationships. And we're going to get a little spicy with those too, because I also feel like, y'all, in Activate, we need to talk about sex, yo. And I'm going to be fucking real. We need to talk about sex, because I don't feel like we have enough conversations about the importance of orgasm, fucking, and being nasty with your mate. And we're going to get into that, okay? Because that's something that's very, very important, okay? By the way, don't listen to this podcast around your churn. This is a Mother May I podcast, because it's for the mothers, okay? But my homegirls and players for the Himalayas, y'all know y'all always welcome. Meet us in the Motherhood Circle. Meet us in the Motherhood Circle. Okay, so let's move on. The last one is H, and H is for help. H stands for help. Yo, listen. Let me say this, y'all. We have this stigma about women, yo. We feel like we got to be the strong woman, the strong black woman. We got to be so damn strong, right? And we have to take care of and fix and make things just right, because it's just the nurturing, the care, and all that kind of stuff that we naturally have inside of us, right? But you have to surrender to not being able to do all the things and just focus on doing some of the things, right? And so I know, like, we tend to get this narrative about how balance is so important, but I want you to also understand that balance isn't necessarily a true thing, right? Because if you have a whole lot of one thing, you're going to at some point lack on the other thing, because you have to give something more attention to the other thing. So when it comes to finding balance, I think we have to switch our mindsets from balance to creating like this harmony, where things are going to go up, things are going to go down, but we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep vibing. We're going to keep gravitating towards what we want. But how do we get there? How do we get into a point where we're not trying to balance and we finding our harmony? We get there by surrendering to the fact that we were not created to work, eat, sleep, repeat. We get there by allowing ourselves to say that this is not who I'm about to be in motherhood. I am not responsible for doing all the things. I don't have to do all the things, and it's okay to ask for help. It doesn't make me weak. It doesn't make me none of that other shit. Because I'm going to tell y'all, like, I've had that whole mindset my whole life. Like, if you asking for help, what make you think you need help? Everybody got issues. What make your issue any better than anybody else's? I done heard that shit my whole fucking life, okay? But that's also why my ass was going through postpartum depression and suicidal at one point too. Because when my back was up against the wall, I didn't even know I needed help. Because here's the thing about depression and anxiety, y'all. It don't have a certain look. It doesn't have a certain trigger. You just in it. You just in it. And so I didn't even notice the signs. I didn't even see the triggers. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until my back was up against the wall and I was literally this close to taking my own daggone life that I said, maybe something's not right. But by then, I had already been hospitalized, y'all. So it's like, yo, you have to ask for help. Stop being out here thinking you got to do it all. Especially for my mompreneurs, like, we like to carry every role. You're the marketing, you're the this person, you're the that person. I get it, sis. I'm still like that at times in my business also. But I also surrender to not having to know how to do it all, and realizing that there's people out here who really want to support you, but because you never say anything and you never ask for help, that's why you never receive it. Not only that, you're not in community with other people who see the importance of going to another level in life, and they want to help other people get there. So when you're not in community with those kind of people, that's the mindset you start to acquire, that people don't want to help you. No, it ain't that. It's the people that you're around. And that's why we created the Motherhood Circle. Because I really feel like the people who listen to this podcast, I attract real ass women. I attract real ass homegirls. I attract real ass players from the Himalayas. You feel what I'm saying? I attract real ass people. And so because of that, the Motherhood Circle is for that purpose. You can literally post in there, I need help with da-da-da-da. Does anybody da-da-da-da? Let's network. Why not? Absolutely. Of course, there's restrictions to how you're going to do it, because y'all ain't finna get in here and just post your flyers every daggone day. Come on now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just having a community where you can actually release and actually connect on that level is so imperative for your growth outside of motherhood. So yes, you have to ask for freaking help. And yes, it's important for you to release the weight of trying to do everything in your household, because God didn't create you to do that way. Be that way. It's time for you to show up as the fullness of who you are, not the burnt out, tired, frustrated, irritated version of you. No, the happy, real you. But that requires you saying, I need some help. You got to ask for it, yo. You got to delegate. You got to ask for support. You got to apologize. We're going to get into all of those things. But that's just the snippet, y'all. That's the quick version of mother. Mother is powerful. When you understand your identity as the woman, as the mom, as the parent, as the caregiver in your home, you will understand that your transformation outside of that is way more important than reaching all the developmental checklists, hitting milestones at the right time, all that other shit. That shit cool. It's cool that your kids are speaking French at 1. Great. But if you don't have an identity outside of helping your kids speak French, baby, you are just as lost. They not benefiting from the fullness of who you truly are, because you so focused on what they need, what you need, boo. That's what mother is about. Mother means so much to me, y'all. So y'all need to keep coming back, because next week we get into the real motherhood chats, and I take on questions from our 3 housewives who have volunteered to allow me to follow them on their journey through motherhood. And we're going to get into it, y'all. I'm excited for what's to come. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, like, comment, all that shit. Let me know what's up. Meet me in the Motherhood Circle. I've uploaded some freebies there for you guys. I'm uploading resources from you guys. And I'm going to figure out some ways that we can start building some connections together, so that we can start supporting each other a little bit further in our lives, in our parenting, in our businesses, whatever. So join the Motherhood Circle. The Motherhood Circle on Facebook. Meet me there. And if you want some ratchet talk, meet me on Twitter at WBHJohnson1, where I'm going to be on there every Monday for Mother May I Mondays, talking shit and having a good time. So if you up for a good kiki, girl, meet me on Twitter, because we're going to do that every Monday at 11 a.m. We're going to live tweet together. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm done talking shit. About to enjoy my coffee and get my day started. So I'll talk to y'all next week. Please.